Well, what I have here are what I would say are the basics or the old school stuff that we kind of got our start on. Some of these are, this is by no means all of them. One of the biggest omissions here is there's not a woolly bugger. I very seldom fish a regular woolly bugger, but this is just kind of an idea, the basics. Still one of my all-time favorites I've got right here in the front are the zoo cougars. You know, like I said, it's kind of the redheaded stepchild. It got set to the back. We were on the South Fork the other day. I put on a cougar, hadn't fished one for 2 weeks probably, put it on, and immediately, bam, we got that big brown. Ooh, fatty brown. They're growing. Brownie like the cougar. Ooh. Come here, Brownie. Oh, Brownie like the cougar. Oh, old school. Easy. Swimming. Brownie like cougar. So the zoo cougar, then the woolly sculpin. This is kind of the sequence of basically how I started fishing streamers. The zoo cougar, the woolly sculpin. Of course, you could have any of these can be cone-headed, or most of my flies aren't weighted, and if it's not a cone head, I don't weight them because I use sinking lines. And some of these you could fish with a sinking line, and some would be tough. If you're using a dry line, obviously you're going to need some weight, so either one can get cone head or not. Then you go to the twin tail Madonna, which is just an absolute epic crayfish pattern. And then Jack Dennis's Kiwi Muddler. Then the stacked blonde. The yellow stacked blonde, this is the original version, totally unweighted. This fly is designed to be fished with a sinking line. I've probably caught more really big fish on this fly than most of them. And then here's a hybrid of the stacked blonde. This is just, it's same, just it's still a keel hook. It's got a cone head on it. This is an epic dry line, one of our best flies on the river. Just a little bit hybrid. It's still bucktail, but it's got marabou, a little flash boo in it, and some tail or some feathers in the side. Then you drop down here to the butt monkey. I've got a black and an olive. This is Scott Smith and Bob Linseman's fly. I put lead eyes on it. That's the only thing I ever did different to that fly. These two flies in olive and black, I would never be caught without. Those are, I mean, as far as big fish hunting flies go, it's about as good as it gets. Just the old double bunny, that fly's been around for Scott Sanchez's fly. That's a great fly. It's a great big fish fly. And then I get into some kind of hybrids. This is called a butt sump. This was two of these flies started out. These were flies I designed for the Jackson Hole 1 fly because they had these small little hook restrictions. And the original one was this sump, this one here. And then I started scaling it down, and I wanted a butt monkey because the butt monkey's so good. So I kind of combined the sump and the butt monkey, and I came up with the butt sump. We fished this in the video when we're out working techniques. I switched over to a tan one of those. Bang, that's, as the little fly goes, the butt sump or the cougar probably be in the small world, you know, flies under 3 inches long. Those are probably two of my favorite. Little sucker hole up in the sky there, like it's going to get bright for a second, but I don't think it's going to. But I'm scaling down right here on my fly size. Like I said earlier, dry fly fish don't generally eat streamers, but that doesn't mean there isn't 4 or 5 underneath that one that's not feeding. And you never know. I don't want one that gets down real fast right here. And I've got my 200. I almost grabbed the floating line to come through here because I knew I'd be fishing the shallow right here, but I'm gonna step out and fish the seam in a second. Oh, there he is. Guess he liked that olive or that tan stuff. Second cast, change of color. I put yellow through there. Second cast, put tan on. Second cast, little brownie eats it. I put on a little tan butt sump, little sculpin pattern. Kind of beat up right now. It's a butt monkey, something olive, something tan. It's a combo of a whole bunch of flies we just put together. Over here you got a big gulp. That fly I sell, I don't know, that's one of the best selling flies in the shop. There was no mission in this, and that was that the woolly bugger, but I've got a JJ's in here. It's a rubber-legged woolly bugger. That particular one's a conehead. That's another fly that's just, that should not be out of anybody's streamer box in the basics, because it's just, that fly, it's just caught fish everywhere. It's one of those flies, I think it's somewhat crayfish-ish. I go to that fly a lot when things are tough. And then finally up here I've got two flies, and they're kind of in and of themselves. This one here, the Prince Albert, this is a trailer fly. And then this one also, this is the smoke wagon. I've got these up here as trailers, because these are, in the show I fished this one quite a bit as my trailer. And a lot of my guides, especially in the summer, they'll run this size 12 Prince Albert behind their streamers, 2 foot or so. But this one here, the smoke wagon, this really needs to be noted. Last year, I ran this as a dropper, and I caught 70% of my fish over 20 inches on that fly. The fish would come up all juiced up on the big fly, and if they didn't eat it, they seemed to turn around and just go and eat that thing almost. It was so casual, wham, that I don't know, it was just a crazy phenomenon that year. But I fish that in the early morning. A lot of times I'll fish this little smoke wagon. It's a minnow imitation. They're kind of in between, great starter flies. My favorite fly to start people on when they're first starting to learn to use the jerk strip retrieve, when you're trying to animate the fly. My 3 favorite flies are the Zoo Cougar, the standard woolly sculpin, and the stacked blonde. Mostly because you can see them, they're so swimmy. They're easy to fish, they're really light, and it's a great starter fly. But there's not a fly in this group that wouldn't catch the biggest fish in the river, I guarantee you. Like I said, my biggest fish this year came on the black butt monkey, but any one of these flies would be a great start.